Hi everyone, my name is Justin Kampf. I am the fitness director at Sequence, which can really be thought of as the clinical arm of Weight Watchers or WW. I have a PhD in exercise and health sciences and have been helping people stay consistent with exercise since 2009. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know to be consistent with exercise. So if you are sick of the cycle of starting and stopping, please continue and watch this video. I'd also encourage you to subscribe to this channel. This helps to get the word out and will alert you when the next video comes out. Plus, it really helps this channel grow and gives us the opportunity to interview new and exciting guests who are also experts in exercise. Now, let's get into exercise and consistency. First, all behavior is a function of 6 things. If I know these 6 things about somebody, I can with relatively high certainty tell them whether or not they will exercise. So let's break this down. The first thing is psychological capabilities. This might include knowledge. So does someone know how to put together an exercise plan? Psychological capabilities often also include the ability to plan and self-regulate our behavior. So in fact, research suggests that if we can help someone plan, or if we improve their ability to plan, specifically when and where they'll exercise, they'll be much more likely to do so. The next capabilities component is a skill, or what we call physical capabilities. So physical capabilities. And this is from a perspective of the actor. So from the perspective of the person doing the task. For example, strength training is an exercise that requires skill. And you would ask yourself, do I have the appropriate skill to do this task at hand? This might mean the technical skills or physical fitness levels. If you're just starting to exercise and you had to do an hour of barbell strength training, that might be past the physical skill that you have. So that would be a skill task mismatch. The next 2 concepts deal with opportunity. The first part of opportunity is physical opportunity. So how easily accessible is exercise or exercise equipment to you? The next component of opportunity is social opportunity. So does your social network support exercise, or do most of the people in your social network exercise? Now, the last components deal with motivation. And one part of motivation is more or less decisional. And this is called reflective motivation. So it might look like this. Have we intended to or decided to exercise? And then next, what is the magnitude of that motivation or that intention? So that's reflective motivation. The next part of motivation is called automatic motivation. This is when exercise is integrated into our identity or it's a habit. This is more emotional than logical per se. If exercise is a part of who we are, we almost always have high motivation to exercise. I actually consider this to be the gold standard of motivation for exercise. Now, I told you that if I knew all of these things, that I could predict whether or not somebody would exercise, and I think that you can too. So let me show you. Let's say that a person intended to exercise, but they had no plan for when they would do it. They decided they needed to do an hour, let's say an hour of heavy barbell strength training, despite having taken maybe a couple weeks or a month off. They didn't have a workout partner and the gym was 30 minutes away from home. To top it all off, let's say they had a really long and stressful day at work. I'm sure you can guess that the odds that this person will work out is actually quite low. But what if we changed a few things in this equation? What if the person recruited social support and went to the gym with a friend from work? What if they looked into the gyms in the area and found one that was 5 minutes away instead of 30 minutes away? And what if they decided they were okay doing 30 minutes of strength training, maybe with dumbbells or machines, instead of doing it for an hour with barbells? This person just dramatically increased the odds that they would exercise just by changing some of the variables that are associated with behavior. Now, your behavior is a function of whether or not you are prompted. That's the first thing. And this might be your plan, a nudge from your workout partner, or even maybe it's the dumbbells that you have in your home office. Once prompted, whether or not you act is going to be a function of how motivated you are and how hard the task is. So for example, if your significant other asked you to go for a 5-minute walk, you wouldn't need a lot of motivation. This task is not that hard. Let's call this task a 2 out of 10 for difficulty. So you would really only need a 2 or higher on the motivation scale to actually do that task. But what if your partner asked you to do a 3-mile run? You'd need a lot more motivation, but because the task is a little bit more like an 8 out of 10 in terms of difficulty. A lot of people, when they get started with exercise, think they need to exercise, for an hour, 4 or 5 times per week. They start their task difficulty at an 8 to 10 out of 10. So they always need high motivation to do that task. Once motivation dips, though, as it usually does, they always think of ways to boost their motivation rather than making the task easier. Now, most people would benefit from practicing consistency before intensity. And we do this by lowering the task demand to match our current motivational state. So let's say you planned on lifting for 30 minutes, but had low motivation. Let's make it 10 minutes. Again, the first goal of exercise should be to create a consistent routine. Each time you exercise, regardless of intensity, it's a vote towards that consistency that you've been working on. So if at first you come up short, I want you to think about the 6 determinants of behavior that I shared with you. What was working for you and how can you leverage that? What was working against you and how can you change that? Now, I'll post more videos on how to change your exercise behavior, but please be sure to subscribe to this channel so that you can get updated as soon as they come out.